I had the advantage of getting an advanced copy of the book, and I have to say I was so impressed. I didn't read every chapter twice, as I heard Pam's mother-in-law is reported to have done, but I couldn't put it down. As I read her memoir, and I'm going to put on my glasses here, I quickly realized that her life story is a history of the African-American experience and of African-American life, and it is also a history of America, a history of Fredericksburg. And for me and so many African-Americans and others who served in the diplomatic service, it is a source of immense pride. Ambassador Bridgewater's story is about diplomacy. It's my story. It is our story. I can't recall when I first met Pamela. She came into the Foreign Service 2 years before me, but in that short period of time, she had already made a name for herself. People told me I had to meet her. And we would continue to cross paths for a number of years, but I never got a chance to meet her. Her name, however, using today's terminology, was already trending. She would become the go-to person for Nelson Mandela, leading former U.S. Ambassador to South Africa, Princeton Lyman, to say, and I'd like to quote him here, "Pamela established a degree of trust and confidence with Mr. Mandela and the ANC leadership that the United States had not previously enjoyed." That statement could have been made for all of Pamela's assignments. Being a 3-time ambassador is not the norm. Ambassador Bridgewater served as our ambassador to Benin, to Ghana, to Jamaica. She not only bridged troubled waters, she was a trailblazer, laying the foundation for all of those who followed her, including me. Hundreds of young Foreign Service officers have been mentored to success by her. She was and continues to be an icon and a role model. I saw the display on diplomacy yesterday morning at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, featuring no other than Ambassador Bridgewater. She is a historical figure who will be admired for generations to come. At the beginning of my remarks, I mentioned how important her memoir is for diplomacy. This is the diplomacy that is under attack. Just yesterday, 1,200 plus State Department employees were relieved of duty, including many of our experienced officers who would have followed Ambassador Bridgewater's path in mentoring the next generation. This book will be important in filling the gap and should be on the reading list of all who wish to successfully pursue a diplomatic career. And I would venture to say for any profession. Bridging Troubled Waters, a memoir, is a must read.
But when Carrie Johnson, my assistant, returned after making a call, she reported, quote, "He doesn't just want to say goodbye to you, he wants you to have lunch with him at his residence in Johannesburg." Later, when she handed me the schedule for that official day in South Africa, she had written in a big blue Sharpie, "Lunch with Madiba," plus a smiley face at the appointed time, 12:30. I kept going over those words. I just could not believe that I would be afforded such a singular honor. I was not just meeting with a revered ANC leader who had been thankfully now released from exile, but rather I was having lunch that day with the president of South Africa. No ambassador, no note-taker, no photographer, just the two of us. I flew up from Durban to Johannesburg, where I would board my international flight later that day, to meet with President Mandela. We shared a warm conversation and a lovely meal. He asked my thoughts about KwaZulu-Natal in the days ahead. I gingerly ventured an assessment suggesting that While there certainly would be some bumps in the road, I nevertheless hoped and believed that South African people would move ahead to build a peaceful and inclusive nation of opportunity, cherishing respect for everyone. The desperate need for real change for all South Africa's people was paramount in both our minds. The only interruption came at 1 p.m. when Mandela's housekeeper brought in a portable radio so he could listen to the BBC News. He explained to me that he had formed this habit during his days in prison. Long-term inmates like himself had been allowed only this small window to the outside world. When lunch ended, Mandela wished me well with a hug, and I promised to maintain contact. He left for our lunch with Tokyo Sekwali, who was an ANC stalwart. Tokyo took the photo of Mandela and me smiling broadly from the porch of his residence, and that photo is my favorite of all the many photographs I have with Nelson Mandela.